Hi there, it's Nicole here for Simon Says Stamp, and today's card features the action wobbles and components from the April 2017 Simon Says Stamp Wild and Colorful card kit. This card kit is incredible, and everything but this die I'm using to add a decorative edge to this white piece of cardstock is included in the April kit. So this is one of the scallop stitches dies from Simon Says Stamp. I'm simply die cutting this along both edges of a white strip of cardstock. It's just going to give it a little bit of a decorative touch. Plus, I think that stitching line gives a great little guideline, I guess I want to say, to line up all these cute little critters. These images are all from the Wild Cuddly Critters stamp set included in the kit, and I'm going to be stamping them in a little row and then creating an action wobble from the lion. He is so super cute. They are the cutest little images. I love them. I'm going to line those up, kind of gauge where I want everything to go, and then I'm going to start stamping the items. The images. I can stamp two of these at once. So I'm going to start with my lion and elephant. I'm using the Misty so I can make sure and get really good crisp outlines for my images. So I'm going to probably need to stamp those twice. Once I have these stamped, I'm going to need to make a mask for my lion so that I can stamp the giraffe to look like he is sitting behind the lion, and I'm going to stamp my Wild About You greeting. It's going to go kind of in between my lion and elephant there. I'll go ahead and get that one stamped before I do the masking and my giraffe. Very minimal masking here, so not a ton of work. I don't even need to mask the entire thing, just the left side of that lion, so that I can color in those images and they look like they're all going in a little row. So this is just a little piece of masking paper I've got here. I'll go ahead and trim out just the left side of this lion, fussy cut him just a tiny little bit. Doesn't need a ton of cutting, like I said. Once I have that trimmed out, I'm going to put my border back in my Misty, line up the giraffe, and stamp him so that it appears he is sitting behind the lion on my card. I need two of those lion images that I just stamped. One is going to go on the card base, and then the other is going to be the wobble feature. So he's going to shake and move around as an interactive feature on the card. I really like the look when you're doing a wobble to have the image behind it colored as well. It really gives a lot more a more complete feeling, I guess I want to say, to that wobble. Here is the giraffe, and when I remove that mask, it's going to appear that he's sitting right there behind the lion. So there is my cute little border. That is the main element and component of this card. I've got a little piece of scrap paper here that I'm going to stamp my lion on again. Again, all of this paper is included in the April 2017 kit. I used every little piece. Again, stamping that lion twice. It's especially helpful with the eyes and the nose on these images, as it really makes them much darker. I'm coloring everything in with Copic markers. The colors of Copics I'm using are shown across the bottom of the screen. Some nice yellows for my lion. I started with his face, and then I immediately skipped to his mane, which was going to be the focal point. I'm doing a little feathering technique with my lightest color, the Y23, and then this YR27 was going to be my darkest color, so I went in with it next, and then I will go in with my mid-tone, which will be YR24. And while it looks fine like this, I think an even darker color just around some certain points around the mane really help darken it up, and that is where I'm going to go in with the E18. And that's going to add some nice dimension to the mane. The YR24 was also used on the face and the body as kind of my mid-tone or darkest color. Some areas only have the Y23 and YR24. A little R00 for the insides of the ears and the cheeks. The lion, as it was going to be the focal point of my card design, since it's going to actually be the Wobble, I probably spent the most time working on it simply because I wanted it to be just right. This is that darker color, and I think you can see that it really makes his cute little face pop out from this image, or from his mane, I guess I want to say. Add a little bit more color to the face, and then I'll skip down to his body. The pads of his feet are also going to be R00. Gives them just a little bit of a pink color, but not overwhelmingly. You can even blend in, which I did with the Y23, so they're not so stark pink if you don't like that. The colors I'm using for the body for my shading and blending are the YR24 and YR27. I kept the E18 only to the mane to darken up some areas there, but otherwise I kept to the other three colors. I'll add a little dot detail to his belly once I have the blending all done. And he is just so super cute. Now, some of the yellow bled into the eyes, and I'm going to show you what I do to fix that. It's not so important on the background image, although I do think I did color them in. But on the one that you color for the front of the card, I took a white pen to that area and a black glaze pen then to the eyes and nose. I really didn't need to do it to the background image. I kind of forgot. Now the second line will be colored exactly like this one. I'm not going to share that since it is exactly the same. And then I will fussy cut him to make the Wobble here in a little bit. For my giraffe, I am using E25 and E27 for the giraffe's spots. E30 and E53 and 55 will be used for the rest of the giraffe, and E79 for the front hooves. Just blend out the rest of the body with my other colors. E30 for the belly and part of the face and the nose. The insides of the nostrils will also be E79 to darken those. It's a nice dark brown color. And just finish coloring that cute little giraffe. Now, so many of these images are in neutral colors. They're all in browns and yellows and earth tones and grays. So for the rest of my card, it's going to be pretty bright, using lots of the fun bright rainbow components from the kit. And I think the earth tones work really well with all of those bright colors. Darken up the face just a little bit. Again, if any of the ink colors bleed into the eyes, you can always take a white gel pen and a black gel pen and fix those eyes anyway. I almost always go back with a black glaze pen and sometimes even a white in this instance for the highlights in the eyes, and go over the eyes to really make them pop. And I'm going to definitely need to do that here. The inside of the ears for my giraffe are going to be R000. R00 would work as well. The R000 has just a little bit more colorless blender in it, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. And I'm coloring my little elephant in, I think I said giraffe, I meant elephant, in with some warm grays. Warm grays are my favorite color of grays to use for critters. I'm using warm gray 3, 6, and 7 for my sweet little elephant. And I did get a little glob of gray in his ear, so I just blended it out with that R000. I'm going in with my darkest color, adding all of the areas where I want the shading to be the darkest, and then my mid-tone color, and then I'll blend it all out. These grays do tend to bleed a little bit, so you may want to, between shading, give it a second. Mine bled maybe just a little bit, but if you give them a minute to dry, maybe go color on the letters or something instead, you shouldn't have that problem. I added even a little gray to the insides of the ears to help mute them just a teeny tiny little bit. Go over the cute little face again. I just love these little animals and their little faces. I think they make the cutest cards, and of course they make awesome little wobbles. Some little dot detail on my elephant. And that is going to basically finish up the coloring once I blend out just a tiny bit more. This is a little bit more of that gray into the ears, which helps just mute the pink a tiny little bit. I'll go back with my white pen now and add highlights to the eyes. The letters are going to be rainbow color, and all of the colors that I'm using for my letters here for the greeting are taken directly from that pattern paper you can see in the top of the screen. And that is on purpose. I want this little strip to coordinate somewhat with my background pattern paper. And this is where you can really have fun with color. So the color choices again are pulled directly from that Lawn Fawn perfectly plaid rainbow paper included in your card kit. I've got some pinks, orange, yellows, and greens, as well as the little bit of blue and then some purple. The colors I'm using are again shown across the bottom of the screen. So super fun. Now also in the stamp set, or in the card kit rather, are some little cubes of Simon Says Stamp ink. And I am going to use the watermelon, lemon zest, and orange slush. Aren't those names so super fun? I'm going to use those 3 little ink cubes to stamp the solid hearts from the Wild Cuddly Critters stamp set right there above my greeting. So a little trio of hearts in these 3 colors. There's also a key lime green color, but I'm not using it for this card here. But some great little ink cubes. The colors are very fresh and fun. I'm going to add a nice little grounding element with some shadowing here down below the animals with my warm gray markers. Blend those out with the lighter warm grays as well. This is just going to help ground them to make them appear like they're sitting. I've also trimmed my background pattern paper to standard A2 size, 5.5 by 4.25 inches. I'm going to attach my Wobble spring to my critter and then take the adhesive off the back of that and attach him right over the image on the border. There's already adhesive on that Wobble spring, so it makes it super easy to attach it to your card. And then you can see you can just wobble him all you want. He's so fun. I added some white highlights to the hearts. And I'm going to attach this whole panel to a white side fold card base. If there's any little overhang, I'm just going to snip that off with my scissors. And then I'm going to go in and add my finishing touches to the card with a little glossy accents over the hearts and the eyes on my critters. So that little lion will wobble. You can just take your finger and make him wobble all you want. So much fun. A really cute, nice, interactive, easy interactive element that you can add to all of your cards. Thanks for joining me today for this Wobble Spring card featuring the April 2017 Simon Says Stamp Card Kit. For more information, please visit the Simon Says Stamp blog. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.